A voiceover artist from Los Angeles reached out to me, wanted some help with his sound, so we're going to run through the custom processing service that I provide, but we're also going to take a look at the difference between a recording level and a mastering level. They're very different. I'm Lenny B, voiceover audio engineer. Let's make your voice sound better. Well, he's using a very common broadcast microphone. It's an Electro Voice RE20. It's going into a Focusrite Scarlett Solo, and he's using Adobe Audition on a Mac. Not only do I want to show you what we did with the sound, but I'm going to start incorporating a little bit about mastering in some of my videos as I move forward here, because I'm noticing that this is definitely an issue with a lot of people. The recording level that you want on your peak meter is you want to live between -18 and -10. That's where you want the audio to average around, but never ever going over -6. That's the rule that I usually will tell voiceover artists. That's what I like to follow. That allows me enough headroom space to use EQ and compression properly, but it's also loud enough to cover any of the noise floor issues. So, hovering right above -18 to -10, anywhere around here, and then never going over -6. It's just a good rule of thumb to have. One of the things that stumps a lot of voiceover artists and voiceover talent is your recording level, the level that you achieve, which is what I just talked about here on those meters. Your recording level is different from your mastering level. Now, mastering your audio is the actual art of getting it as loud as possible when you're ready to send it off to a client or to post as a demo, or you're ready to send it off as a client if they've asked for it to be mastered. If they may want to master it with maybe other voices, or they have a production crew or whatever that's doing that. So it's really important to ask your client how they want the audio right before you send it. And if they've already given you instructions, that's cool. But if you're going to post it somewhere, or you want to send a demo, or you're sending an audition, a lot of the times you want it to be as loud as possible without distorting. You want it to sound crisp. You want to retain the tone adjustments that the processing has done. But a lot of times volume or loudness is perceived as better. So if your audio, your audition is much louder than the previous person's audition, you may be chosen just because, it sounds better. It may just be louder, but that's what people hear. Sometimes louder is often perceived as better. So mastering, which is totally separate from what we're doing here, we're doing the processing on the recording. Once we're done processing, once we get a great sound, and we still are at those same levels, because when I process and go through an EQ, or where I go through the Sheps Omni channel or other Waves plugins, the level going in, which is the level that I talked about that you want to get, is going to be the same level going out. That's gain staging, and that's really important to keep the integrity of the processing that we've done. So, once we've done the processing, your level, your file is still going to look like this. But once you're ready for mastering, once you're all done editing and it sounds good, and you're totally happy with the read that you've done and the take, and it's all edited and finished, then you go to the mastering phase. That's when we apply different effects, limiting and compression, and maybe some EQ to get it to the loudest point possible. I haven't touched on any mastering yet, but I'm going to start introducing it and start talking about it as I move forward here, because I think it's where a lot of people kind of get confused, especially when it comes to recording levels. Your mastering levels and your recording levels, totally separate. So let's hear what we've got here. This submission, I have no processing on, and what I'm going to do is we're going to listen to it raw, and then we'll come back and listen to it with the processing. We're using the FabFilter Pro Q3 with just a little mid to low adjustments here, and then using the Sheps Omni channel for preamp and gating and de-essing and some more EQ. And compressing, we're using a VCA compressor, and I've also, let's see what we've added here. We're also using a second compressor at a much lower ratio just to thicken it up again. 2 compressors running in series is a very common thing to get the sound we're looking for. All right, first we'll listen without, and then we'll listen with the custom processing chain that I've put together.
Want an in-demand career with great pay? The WITC two-year automation for industrial system graduates reported earning over $72,000.
Wow. Okay, so, it doesn't sound bad. He's got a good room. It sounds pretty good. But I'll tell you, I can already hear this low, mid, kind of a boxy sound, which is often something that happens when you're recording in a booth in a smaller room that's treated with, foam absorption panels and things like that. So let's hear what it sounds like now, before and after.
Want an in-demand career with great pay? The WITC two-year automation for industrial system graduates reported earning over $72,000. This program integrates Industry 4.0 advanced manufacturing competencies to meet the regional need for skilled employees. Combine your IT, electrical, and programming skills to control and automate manufacturing machines and processes on the latest equipment in the lab.
You may be saying, why does it sound louder? If you look at the meters, the input, this is the input meter here, and output. So this is first, and then we're going through the two plugins here, and this is the output afterwards. You'll see that they're the same. They're not exactly the same because we're adjusting the attack and release with the compressor. It's perceived as louder, but it's registering the same on the peak meters. Watch the meters.
Want an in-demand career with great pay? The WITC two-year automation.
And as a matter of fact, this one is a little louder. The peaks are a little louder in some places on his consonants and things. It's hitting harder, but the compressor is pulling that back, and it's just odd. It's a strange kind of phenomenon. It seems louder, but it's more clear. And what's happening is I've added bass with the Sheps Omni channel. We've added the thump, the low resonance here, and some of the highs. And what's happening is you've just got a wider frequency representation from his voice, and we're attenuating, we're lowering the mid-range that was too high before. It was overshadowing everything else. So by doing this and changing this, we have evened out the frequencies, and it just sounds more pleasing. And that's kind of the magic of EQ, definitely. So I want to show you one more thing. This is really cool. So what I've done now is on the master output of my DAW here on Logic, we've done all the processing on the auxiliary channel, which is where this is going through. And then on my master channel, I have put a loudness meter so we can see the difference. But we're also I'm going to show you what mastering is. So we're going to show you what I've done. I'm using FabFilter's limiter, and what this basically does is brings it to the loudest possible volume without peaking, and just before it peaks, it actually lowers it automatically, but we're able to get it right to the limit, and I'm going to show you what that sounds like. LennyB.com is the name of my website, and you can get information on this exact service that I'm kind of walking you through here. It's my custom preset service. Send me an audio example of your raw audio recorded in your room with your equipment, and what I do is design a custom channel strip with EQ and compression and filtering and a bunch of other things to show you what your voice could sound like with the proper processing. There's a link in the description of this video, and by all means, if you've got any questions, you can email me on the website, or please leave any questions or comments in the description below. All right, let's hear the difference. Now, it's going to get louder. I'm going to show you what mastering does. So we're going to listen to the two plugins that are active, and this is processing the voice, and then this limiter is coming afterwards on the master channel, and you're going to hear the difference. I am boosting the gain almost 7 dB. It's only raising the volume, and I'll show you what the limiter does here. So this is a way that we're increasing everything, but still protecting the integrity of the tone and making sure it doesn't go over so it doesn't distort. And when you send this out to YouTube, or you send it out to your client, if that's what they want, a mastered version, or if you post it for a demo, or you're sending out an audition, this is how to really optimize that sound, and you'll just blow away the competition because no one else is going to have the sound that you have.
Want an in-demand career with great pay? The WITC two-year automation for industrial system graduates reported earning over $72,000. This program integrates Industry 4.0 advanced manufacturing competencies to meet the regional need for skilled employees. Combine your IT, electrical, and programming skills to control and automate manufacturing machines and processes on the latest equipment in the lab.
Now, here's what's so cool about this. There's no way you would be able to get this type of volume if you were to just raise the recording level in your original recording. You wouldn't be able to EQ it properly because I'm raising certain frequencies with the EQ here, and we would go over, it would distort. So the mastering process is a way to increase the volume, and you can even push this even harder, and it's called a brick wall limiter. It just stops right before it, just lops off those peaks, and it just drops down the volume so it doesn't go over. It's all part of mastering, and there's some other processes in mastering too, but I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of kind of what the mastering is all about. And this is something, again, that I do for my clients, because if you love the sound of your voice, you're going to perform better, you're going to read better, you're going to have more confidence. That's going to come through in your energy when you're delivering your reads for your clients or your auditions. All that is really part of your magnetism as an artist. It's all part of marketing. And I want to do whatever I can to help make your voice sound better. Thanks for watching.